I'm trying to eliminate this glare right behind me. I'm pointing at it. It's like this light is like creating this crazy glare, and it's driving me insane, to be totally honest. But it's okay. I guess you get used to it after a while. Suro and Disney here, and it is almost 9 p.m., actually closer to 9 p.m., 6 minutes till 9 p.m. on Saturday, November 2nd. So this is going to be a special video. Now, we're going to be talking about Halloween Horror Nights, like we do here. And there's this video, and then there is something special coming tomorrow, and then there's going to be one more Horror Nights video, and I'm going to be talking about speculation for Halloween Horror Nights 24. So we're going to be talking about that still later this week. So the Horror Nights content is going to continue, at least for the next couple of days. That's just how it works. So I do want to throw out real quick that as a channel, right now, we are officially at 17,057 views. So I want to personally thank every single one of you, boy, girl, man, woman, child, doesn't matter. Thank you out there for getting us to 17,000 views in under a year. I mean, think about it from this perspective. When we started this channel, the first video was released on November 20th, 2012. And as of this moment, it is 18 days to the day in 2013. So a year later, we are at 17,000 views and sitting pretty with 150 subscribers. That's pretty good, to be totally honest. Who would have thought, back when I just decided to take this iPod, when it was filming the opposite way, which I'm sure you guys love the up and down videos. Gotta love those. I remember almost all my videos back in the day were up and down. Then I realized, hey, Owen, you should turn it to the left and right and make it look better. And it did, and it does, and it was awesome. Now, back in those days, who would have thought that a year later we'd still be doing this? I mean, I didn't know where this was going to go. I didn't even know if I was even going to post these videos. I just kind of took a cue from the Tim Tracker and a cue from Dr. Jimmy, and I decided to start making videos, and I was filming Will texting on his cell phone, and I was talking about where Alan was waiting in line outside the Nationwide Arena for Monday Night Raw on the 12th of November in 2012. So this is where this started, and I wasn't even sure I was going to put these videos anywhere. I thought I might just show them to people around. But then I decided, okay, how about a YouTube channel? And in the professional wrestling business, I have been Sir Owen for as long as I can remember. Now, I was a Spalding at one point. I was Vance Owen at one point. And then I finally became Sir Owen. And if you would go further into Sir Owen's background, he is a multi-generation down Disney. So that's where Sir Owen Disney came from. And obviously, the name Sir Owen in the beginning was a homage to the late, great Owen Hart. When he won the King of the Ring in 1994, that is when I changed my name to Sir Owen. There was a King Owen, there had to be a Sir Owen, and that would be me. So that's the reason why Sir Owen exists. So if you were curious, you're going to get it on this Halloween Horror Nights video of all things. So we've been a channel for less than a year now, and we're already at 17,000 views. Now the next big milestone we're looking at is 200 subscribers and 20,000 views. Now, I'd like to say I have hundreds upon hundreds of views on each video. Sadly, I don't. But we're getting there. We're slowly but surely picking up momentum, and every day someone new is learning about pop. And that's a good thing. And you guys enjoy these videos. I'm going to continue to make these videos. And I'm going to continue to give you guys and girls out there a look into my everyday life. Whether I'm just going to work, or whether I'm going to Athens, or going to B-Dubs, or whatever I decide to do. When I go home to Orlando, anywhere in between. I mean, that's how this works. So, once again, a big thank you to everyone that's ever watched a video on this channel, even if it is a couple seconds. You gave me a view, and this propelled us to 17,000 in under a year. And that's pretty good, to be totally honest, given the fact that I'm just getting started. And the best is yet to come. Who knows what would have happened? We've got AJ got on this channel, and months ago, I never would have even guessed that AJ would be our top contributor to this channel. I mean, other than me, obviously, you see me every day, but you get AJ weekly. He has 2 weekly segments that are a guarantee. And then I got Ben to do music reviews, and I got Will to do video games, and Batman, and various other things. And we finally recruited Molly, and Molly is going to be joining us with videos sooner rather than later, probably sometime this month. I know you've heard that before, but I know I've heard that before too, but it's okay. We'll get Molly videos this month. We've become a channel, and you guys and girls out there obviously like us because you continue to watch. And we appreciate every single view that we've ever got on this channel. Whether you found this by accident, or you found it by talking to me, or you found it by talking to Will or Ben, or you found it by just like searching YouTube for random like keywords, which I really wish I could go back to my old videos and put keywords in them because they'd probably get a lot more hits that way. And I probably will somewhere down the road when I actually have a lot of time to kill. But I'm a procrastinator, so obviously I don't have a lot of time to kill. So before I get started with anything about Halloween Horror Nights and anything into what I've done today, I wanted to thank each and every one of you for getting us to 17,000 views in such a short amount of time. It's not even been a year, folks. So we're doing pretty good, and don't forget, the best is yet to come. So many awesome things planned for 2014. A lot of things I can't talk about because everything's not completely worked out yet, but let me put it this way. You are going to enjoy the content you will be getting throughout the rest of this year and way into 2014 and beyond. So you're going to be getting amazing content daily, and that's what we provide here on Pop, and you guys seem to enjoy it, so thanks again. So, after my grandstanding is out of the way, and I thank everyone, and I very much appreciate everyone, and I know all my popcasters do as well, I want to throw out what I did today. And actually, I am very full, to be totally honest, because I've consumed a lot of pizza. Why? Because tonight was my grandpa's 75th birthday party, and they had it at the banquet room at a local pizza place called Napoli's. Now, it's basically, now this isn't true, of course, but I mean, you might as well say it. Throughout my lifetime, I recall numerous times that we would get Napoli's. I mean, it was a Thanksgiving meal at one point. That's a shoot. So, we would get Napoli's all the time, and I made jokes that are probably not far from true, that when it comes down to it, Napoli's probably still exists in this area because of my family. I mean, that's probably not true, but obviously they have bought a lot of Napoli's, and we bought a lot of Napoli's over the years. So it makes total sense that I could say that, and it would be at Napoli's. So, I remember back in the day, when I was a kid, I would stay the night with my grandma on Friday nights. I mean, it was normal. I would ask and beg to spend the night with my grandma. I'd bring my cousins over, and we'd play video games, and we'd have a lot of really awesome times. And at 11 o'clock, without fail, my grandpa would walk through the door, and what would he do? He would bring us a Napoli's pizza, and it would be amazing. And then the next morning, I would eat the rest of the pizza, and have me an RC, and everything would be good with the go. So, there you go. So, yeah, it was really awesome. It was there, and it was a family gathering, and it was really cool because my aunt actually flew in from Texas in order to be there for this. I mean, she actually flew in, and she's going to fly back out tomorrow. And, like, everyone was there. I mean, like, friends, family, like extended family, like, people, don't know who they are. But, I mean, I pretty much, it was nice seeing everyone. It really was. It was great to be in a family environment, because it's not really something I do very often, to be totally honest. So, when it comes down to it, as bitter and jaded as I can be sometimes, it's kind of nice to see your family every once in a while, so that was pretty cool. And it was really nice to see people I've not seen in years. I mean, everyone was there, aunts and uncles and cousins and everything, all under the umbrella, and it was really cool. We had awesome pizza, and they had these pretzel rod gimmicks at the place for everyone at their seat. Each of the seat had a pretzel rod gimmick. One either had sprinkles, like chocolate with sprinkles, and the other one was like chocolate with white chocolate, like lines, I guess you would say. White chocolate lured lines. So yeah, we're getting the Bill and Ted talk started early. So yeah, I can tell right now this is going to be a long video. So get in and enjoy. I would get a beverage right now if I were you. So, I'll wait. Okay, I don't want to wait anymore. So, you just hit pause. And I'm back. So, there's nothing wrong with your YouTube channels. No, it's just, I just wanted to pause like a goof for a second so you guys could go get something to drink. Because it's going to be a long ride, folks. Because like I said, we're doing this housekeeping, and then I'm going to talk about a couple other things, then we're getting to Halloween Horror Nights. So if you want to fast forward a bit, I understand. It's okay, no harm done. I understand that you want to get to the Horror Nights stuff, and that's fine, but everyone here, after 475 videos, you guys should know that the beginning of almost every video is housekeeping. It's just randomly talking about what's going on right now. So if you don't want to hear that, I can understand. Just fast forward. No disrespect. It's cool. No problem. I'll talk to you guys again with Halloween Horror Nights whenever you hit play again. But for those of you that are still with me, I'm going to throw out some awesome information. Now, if you haven't checked it out yet, AJ's movie reviews this week, a really good video, actually. It's over an hour long. And we discussed the 3 new release movies that came out this weekend that you may or may not have seen already. And if you have or have not seen them, check the review out, see what you think of it. And if you need an idea of what to watch this weekend, then go, again, just by all means, check out these reviews. That's the reason why we do them, because obviously we want to get the word out. We want to get everybody to go out and just watch a movie right now, because it's kind of, obviously it's like getting to the holidays, and budgets are going to be tight. We totally understand that, but if you're able to watch a movie, then go watch a movie. Like I got on my soapbox at the last video when we did the October Oscar prediction video. I don't know where I was on that one, but yeah, just how it worked, I guess. So, like I said, check out that video. We're talking about Ender's Game, Freebirds, Las Vegas, as well as limited release movies that we just recently got, Enough Said, and the new Romeo and Juliet. So that's on there. We got a brand new Versus posting tomorrow, and your cryptic comment is going to be Anthology. Yes, we're going to continue our scary-themed Versus throughout the month of November. So your cryptic comments for the rest of the month, I'm throwing that out there to the people that are still with me on this, still enjoying the housekeeping and didn't fast forward to listen about Horror Nights. I'm going to let you know that the cryptic comment for this Sunday, as in tomorrow, is going to be Anthology. The cryptic comment for the 10th of November is actually going to be Ghost. The cryptic comment for the 17th is going to be Sickness, and we're going to finish it off on November 24th with Scott. So yes, it's going to be interesting to see what we do with those. And if you want to guess what they are, then by all means, you can leave a comment on the bottom of this video and tell me what you think these videos are going to be. And you may be right, you may be wrong, who knows. So you can check that out. Wrestling fans, I do have some awesome news. Obviously, TNA will be returning to Universal. I'm so excited about this. They're actually going to be filming later this month. And don't worry, Horror Nights fans, they're going to be in Soundstage 19, which is like right next to the Blue Man Group. It's kind of like where Nickelodeon Studios used to film back in the day. And it's not a place that's been used for Horror Nights, as far as I know. So you're not going to be losing any houses, and Soundstage 21 will still be available for Horror Nights 24, but we'll get into that later. So, that out of the way, and I thanked everyone. We talked about everything. We talked about the birthday party. We talked about everything going on in my life. You know what we're going to talk about? It's November 2nd, the final night of Halloween Horror Nights 23, and a lot of you guys and girls out there are enjoying the event right now, and I really wish I could be there with you. I'd love to be at the final showing of Bill and Ted tonight. It would be incredible. And someday I will go to the final showing of Bill and Ted, but it's not going to be this year. So, let's talk about my opinions, thoughts, comments, and opinions on Halloween Horror Nights 23 overall. I know what you're thinking. Oh, and you've done 6 videos talking about your experience at every single night of the event. And my response is, yeah, that's true, but I didn't give you an exact opinion of the entire event. And you're probably thinking, yes, you did. I'm like, no, I want to go further into this. I want to talk about the actual event. I want to talk about the viral campaign. I want to talk about Legendary Truth. I want to talk about Evil Takes Root. I want to talk about the fact that neither of those really mattered in the end when it comes to all the IPs and The Walking Dead taking over everything, and the thing I like to call AMC Presents Halloween Horror Nights. So we're going to talk about all this right now. So this all started right off the top. It was May 25th at Orlando's Halloween Extreme Con. And it was made official, the announcement that Legendary Truth would be returning to Halloween Horror Nights 23. So they also threw out a lot of merchandise, shirts and hats and lanyards, and I'll share this stuff later, maybe. We'll get to that in a little bit. I'll talk about my HHN swag as we finish this video. So, all this stuff would be available eventually. There would be stuff for the individual Horror Unearthed, like, clans, obviously. So all the groups would have individual merchandise. There'd be like Karazhan merchandise. There'd be Morphan merchandise. There would be Stringoit merchandise. I mean, there would be merchandise from every single group. So that would be how it would work. And that was awesome, and everyone got really excited about this, that it would all be sold on the Universal Orlando website, and eventually it was. So, June 6th, they started releasing building permits, and we found out that there were going to be 7 locations for Halloween Horror Nights 23. Now, the first thing that jumped to a lot of people's minds that the soundstage would be way too big, way too big for just one house. So it made total sense that there would be another house as well. So actually, I want to talk about that. So where are we? We are... And I want to thank hhncrypt.com for this information. Soundstage 21, which actually housed Impact Wrestling previously, before this. And I'm kind of scorching down. Hey, welcome back. So I was just hitting the button there. I'm leaving it plugged in so it doesn't like die in the middle of the video, because I know it's going to be a long video. I can tell right now it's going to be a long video. So, continue. So, Soundstage 21 was announced, and a lot of speculation was that it wasn't going to be just one house, it was going to be 2 houses, and that it would end up being correct. Now, let's talk about this, shall we? Now, on midnight, June 27th, the first house was announced. I don't even know what that's my iPhone going off. Hold on, I gotta stop this so it doesn't go off again. Yep. Follow at the Tim Tracker on Twitter. My friend Tim's amazing. And his wife Jen at the Jen Tracker. Both amazing people. We'll talk about them as we progress in this video. So, June 27th at midnight, the first announcement of the first Halloween Horror Nights Haunted House was announced, and it was officially the Cabin in the Woods. So, the website went down. It was completely different from last year's event, Halloween Horror Nights 22. And there was a tagline that was put on a black background with a tagline that says, "What evil has taken root?" So, everything was just like laid out right there. Speculation would start what the houses were going to be. And there was a lot of speculation through Dr. Jimmy that these houses would end up coming to fruition or if they wouldn't. So, in the morning, after midnight, obviously, the website was officially updated with basic event information. The tickets went on sale, and they started posting these really weird and cryptic evidence videos from a legendary truth, presumably a legendary truth member named PS, which we know if PS was male or female, and you really couldn't tell. So these videos would continue. And we get another announcement on July 5th. July 5th, we talked about Express, and Express prices were announced, but they're not officially able to be purchased yet. So it's basically just you know how much you're going to pay, but you can't buy them yet. So a couple days later, about 6 days later, they started announcing the add-ons for the Single Night Express. So Express was completely done. On July 16th, they made the announcement of the next haunted house. Now the thing about it was that it was pretty much announced early, given the fact that the DVD of Evil Dead revealed that there was going to be a house in Hollywood and a house in Orlando. They're actually going to be sharing. There was a contest that you could enter through the DVD that was in like an insert, and it revealed that Evil Dead was going to be the next maze. Universal panicked and realized that, okay, because people didn't stick to street date and got their DVDs early, then they had to make the announcement, and on July 16th, Evil Dead was officially announced. Now, unlike what a lot of people thought, which a lot of people really wanted this to be the Bruce Campbell version of Evil Dead, which it wouldn't be, it would be played upon the version from the movie this year. And that kind of irritated a lot of people, but a lot of people got over it really quickly. So, July 17th, after a lot of whispers, it was officially announced that the Rocky Horror Tribute Show was returning to Halloween Horror Nights 23. It's been out of commission for several years. There was a lot of reasoning when it was out, and then of course we had Brian Brushwood, and we had Death Drums, and all sorts of different things, but we finally got Rocky Horror back. And it made me extremely excited knowing I was going to go to the event, because obviously I'm a big Rocky Horror mark, because that's just how it works. Now, as we progressed, we got into July 22nd. And July 22nd, there was officially an announcement about the Legendary Truth Experience game. And you could start registering online at the website. So basically you could sign up for a legion and you could join that legion and you would compete in games and in-park activities in order to gain points for your legion. So on July 25th, 3 days later, it was officially announced that we were not going to be getting what we had last year. Now, last year we had the roaming hordes. And the roaming hordes were fine, but obviously I didn't really get to take to them very much, given the fact that it rained for 3 hours on opening night last year. So I didn't really get to take them as much as I would like to. Because of that, they eliminated the roaming hordes. The roaming hordes were replaced by not scare zones, not set scare zones, but kind of they were. That would be the individual street experiences. And the street experiences would be themed towards AMC's The Walking Dead, which, of course, was a house last year that was in the disaster queue, which is where Havoc Derailed was this year. Now, they took that and they also ended up making a house which would be based upon Season 3. Now, the street experiences were based on Seasons 1 and 2. Now, obviously, you guys know, I'm not a Walking Dead guy, so I didn't know anything about this. So, July 30th, Mike Aiello officially takes over the Halloween Horror Nights Twitter, and it's now renamed at Horror Nights ORL, which is Horror Nights Orlando, and it was completely changed. Like, everything was good, and Mike Aiello took over, so obviously he's going to get stuff done. So August 12th, it was basically starting to reveal everything, and they said there was going to be a reveal week. So for the 12th to the 16th, we're going to get a reveal of all the rest of the haunted houses, or so we thought. So on the 12th, we got the announcement that Universal Hollywood's Urban Legends La Llorona was coming to Halloween Horror Nights 23. And a lot of people were wondering how it was going to work out, if it was going to be the same house as Hollywood. We found out later, of course, it was half and half. In the middle, it goes from Hollywood's house to Orlando's house, which is completely original after the fact. On August 13th, we made the announcement of our 3D house for the year, and that was Afterlife, Death's Vengeance. And we were finding out that it was going to be about Bobby the Blade Galetta and the fact that he has terrorized a lot of people over history, and these people are going to be coming back for revenge, and we're going to see how evil and twisted it could work. And it's done like blacklight 3D, just like last year's Penn and Teller Nuked Las Vegas house, which of course I really loved, obviously. So, August 14th was officially the announcement that Havoc would be returning. This time it would be a sequel house of Dogs of War called Derailed, and that would end up being the house that we got on that night. So, August 15th, the house that has been in the making for forever and a day. And that would be John Landis finally okaying the announcement of An American Werewolf in London, which Mike Aiello and TJ and Rick Spencer, everyone has wanted to do forever, and they finally got everything worked out. Everything finally lined up at the right times. Everything was correct, and we got this house, and that was the announcement for An American Werewolf in London. So, that was it. That was the end of reveal week. And there was still one house left to go. And there was speculation this house got scrapped, or something was going to happen. And we're not getting an 8th house, we're only going to get 7. Well, we found out on August 29th, right before September, that we got a final 8th house, and it would be based upon the video games of the Resident Evil series, mainly Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil Nemesis. So that would be the house. The final house, Halloween Horror Nights 23, would be Resident Evil Escape from Raccoon City. And a lot of people were wondering if it would be on the movies. No, this is going to be all about the video games. So everyone was really, really hyped and really excited. So site goes up, everything's great, we get the games are really fun this year, really hard too, honestly, and it was announced dates of the years to run from September 20th all the way through today, November 2nd, so even more dates than ever before. And to follow suit, Howl-O-Scream actually opened on the 27th of September and went all the way through Halloween night. So, obviously I don't go to Howl-O-Scream, but still, Busch Gardens followed suit. So everything was good to go. We have Evil has taken root, and that is officially the theme of this year's event, which it really didn't have a theme, to be totally honest, because that was just for some of the marketing, and everything was themed towards The Walking Dead, like Walking Dead everywhere. If you're not a Walking Dead fan, then you were totally lost, but with anything, it was just zombies, so it's not a big deal. So as we progress, obviously with the tickets and everything, I ended up getting a Rush of Fear pass. And my Rush of Fear pass, actually being a preferred Universal Annual Pass holder, it actually was $59.99. And it got me access for 10 nights, 6 of which I actually was down there for. So I actually went to 6 of the 10 nights I was able to go to. And of course, there was the Frequent Fear Pass and the Frequent Fear Plus Pass with Express and Stay and Scream, all the different variations. Of course, a single night ticket was $93 plus tax. So it was insane. And they, of course, had the opening of the event. You could open at like midnight. And then, of course, as we progressed in the event, you had hours open till 1 and 2 a.m. And, of course, everything, I'm going to lay out one by one my opinions on the event. So, here we go. Oh, yeah. I also did the Unmasking the Horror Tour this year, which is really amazing. Got to go through 6 houses. And the only houses I did not get to go through on the tour were Afterlife, Death's Vengeance, and Havoc Derailed. Havoc Derailed, like I said before in the video previously, makes sense given the fact that it is the queue for Disaster, basically, with like inflatable walls put up. But Afterlife, Death's Vengeance didn't really make sense why they did not let anybody in there. I guess if you had to add something for next year, I would say give the opportunity to be able to go through all houses at the event. That would be awesome. And I would pay for it, totally. Especially after this year, I would totally pay for it. And I'd pay to have David as my tour guide again, so that's awesome. So if you guys get a chance to see him, David was an awesome tour guide. Obviously, he's not a tour guide anymore, given the fact that the event's over. But still an awesome tour guide, and if you get a chance to check him out, he's amazing. So, let's talk about the event, shall we? So, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to talk about what I thought about the event overall, and we'll start with everything. Like I said, the way that the park map goes, everything pretty much goes in a really awesome circle. Like if you stay and Scream, you can get into Kid Zone, or that would be the same place for the annual pass holder event, which got you into The Walking Dead, and right next to it is La Llorona, and of course, like right after Men in Black is like right in between Men in Black and like the misting station where the big soda bottle is. That's where you get into Afterlife, Death's Vengeance. And of course, if you go around, you head towards Fear Factor Live, which is where Bill and Ted is. You go back around, you can head towards Havoc Derailed, and right next to it is Rocky Horror. And then, of course, you go back around there, you can hit Evil Dead, and then you hit American Werewolf in London, and Resident Evil, and Cabin in the Woods. So yeah, it pretty much makes sense that everything goes in a nice little circle. And that's how it works. And there's food, and all sorts of crazy characters everywhere. So the street experiences. Let's talk about street experiences, shall we? So there were street experiences in 5 different locations. Now we'll start out with the Fall of Atlanta, which was the first right after Evil Dead. You walk past it, and there was this big, like, fabricated tank that was there, and it was awesome. And you could smell like rotting corpses, but you could only smell chicken strips because they were right next to it. And that's where the walker that looked like Lewis Black was. And that was awesome, and spotlights would go off every once in a while. Really cool and really intense at some places. And then the Woodlands, which of course you're walking towards Kid Zone, and there were like bushes and trees and everything. The Bicycle Girl was there, and then you had to walk past the farm, which where Herschel's barn was, and then like the windmill, and of course the barn was on fire, and there were walkers everywhere, and then there's Clear, which there was all sorts of craziness there, and it's just like, it was awesome. Survivors Camp, of course, at Kid Zone was like tents, and there was the Dale's RV, and there was like survivors there were walkers there was like this awesome projection where you could see like a tent, and you can see like a walker eating a body parts. Really awesome, really cool. So yeah, I like the street experiences. I never watched Walking Dead in my life. I like the street experiences. So yeah, street experiences, for me, I would say really good, really awesome. I liked Fall of Atlanta, really, except I never got the smell of rotting corpses. I always got the smell of the chicken strips that were being sold right outside. There was a food tent that was right next to it, and it was between the entrance of American Werewolf in London and the entrance of Evil Dead. So it was kind of like right there. There was chicken strips, and I could smell them, and they were amazing. I didn't eat them, but I mean, I could smell them, and that was really awesome. So there's always that. So, real quick, I will say that some of the rides were open for the event, and that's usually how it works for Halloween Horror Nights. Transformers was open again, and I actually got to ride that on September 29th with Tim and Jen, and that was awesome. Being able to do the regular line, being able to ride stuff with Tim and Jen, that was really cool. And Rip Ride Rocket, which I rode on my birthday, and I didn't get to ride with Tim and Jen, but I got to hang out with Kaylee outside, and she was a really cool girl. And I kind of got like stopped, and that's the reason I get to ride with Tim and Jen, but it was still cool. The Mummy, which I got to ride with Tim and Jen on the 28th. That was really awesome, really enjoyable. Didn't get to ride The Simpsons, or I rode Men in Black with Psycho Massacre Films and his friend. That was really cool. Didn't do Despicable Me and didn't do Shrek 4D, but those were all available to be enjoyed during the event. There were awesome carnival games where you could win like Freddy plushes, Jason plushes. Like there was like Sam from Trick or Treat. You can get his plush if you really wanted to. There were ghosts. And they were really cool games. They were like really awesome carnival games, and you could win really cool prizes for them. So they were really cool. They were kind of like in between the entrance of Resident Evil and all the way up to like the Aftershock, which is the Twister gift shop, which is outside of Twister, which of course takes you into American Werewolf in London, because that's what the Twister queue was this time around. So I'll talk about the shows last. We'll talk about the houses one by one. We'll go with the first house. In this case, if you walk into the park, would be the Cabin in the Woods. I was really apprehensive about this house. Obviously, I was worried about the giant snake being involved. He was not in the house physically. He was in the house, but I never got to see him in the video wrap. That, of course, is when everything's going crazy, all heck's breaking loose. All the insanity that goes on, that's where, of course, the unicorn showed up. Apparently, there was supposed to be another hallway you went through where you saw the unicorn impale somebody, and that would have been awesome, but unfortunately, it had to be scrapped at the last minute, sadly, so we didn't actually get that. We got a video of it instead. Cabin in the Woods was always awesome. It was great. I ran right into Fornicus the Hell Lord numerous times. Got to the Sugar Plum Fairy a couple of times. Got some really good scares. Got to watch a lot of really awesome scares. When you walk into the room where you have the film strips, and it's the original Psycho, actually, the film strips, and you have this character jump out at you, I actually saw that happen from someone else's perspective. It was really awesome to see that jump scare. I really enjoyed that. And the doctor and the surgeon inside the break room, that was really awesome every single time. Really cool. They got me there. The clown inside the elevator, that was really good. I really liked the house overall. Spectacular, spot on. And that was all the facility, and the stuff in the cabin was really good too. Like I said, when the Buckner family is like attacking you, and they get you in the first room, and they come at you from the right-hand side, and you have someone begging for help, and you're like, yeah, you're screwed, you're done now. And then you go into the next room, and you see that effect where they charge at you, and just like, it looks like they're going to take your head off with an axe. It looks awesome. It was just spot on. Love Cabin in the Woods. Amazing house. Second best house of the night. So yeah, Cabin in the Woods was an amazing house and really enjoyable. If you watch the movie, everything is completely spot on. You can imagine every single thing. It's just like you're in the movie. And I'll say that a lot during this review, so that's how it works. So, Cabin would take you to Resident Evil. And a lot of people give a lot of heat to Resident Evil. And Dr. Jimmy said it best, and I'm going to say it as well. It wasn't, but it was our comedy house of the year. I mean, it really wasn't a comedy house, but I guess it's the closest thing you would get to it. And it was really cartoony. Obviously, it was played towards the video game. And there were some good scares in the house, like the Hunters and the Alphas attacking, and Nemesis when he was there, even though he looked like the Toxic Avenger. And the pause room, which a lot of people were kind of soured on, it was fine for me. I didn't mind it at all. And seeing Jill and Leon, even though Leon looked like Zac Efron, I said numerous times in the videos, everything looked spot on. It was amazing for the video game fans out there, and really cool to see all the lit up plants. Obviously, they're parts of the video game, and a lot of really awesome PSs to people that are video game fanatics and enjoy the Resident Evil video game series. This is a maze that I'm pretty sure they've been wanting to do for a bit, even though it was a, like we did Silent Hill last year, obviously. So, this is, like, goes into it, because obviously Silent Hill was a little bit different. Now, this one is completely based on the video game, and everything is, like, spot on to the video game. And if you're a video game fanatic and you like the Resident Evil series, you'll love this house. Personally, this is the house I went through the most, and it was basically because I was having a lot of problems with Legendary Truth. I'll talk about that at the end of the video. Because I had a lot of problems, I had to go through the house many, many times. I never really got majorly scared in the house. I did like the house overall. I did. I probably like it a lot more than any other reviewer that is going to do these videos. I would say that it is not as bad as people say it is. It's kind of short. Not a bad house overall. I mean, they could have done a lot more with it, but in a time that we have so many zombies all over the park, they didn't have to have zombies in Resident Evil. There's a lot of characters and creatures they could have brought out that they didn't. And I was, again, a little apprehensive because I saw the giant snake in the video. One of the video games, I guess it's like Resident Evil 3, 4, or something like that. It was posted on the Horror and Earth Facebook page. And I was kind of like worried about this. I was like, no, I don't want to see this. So luckily I didn't. So yeah, no snakes this year. It was pretty cool. So hopefully Universal, if you're watching this video, no snakes in these houses ever again. So yeah, I really like Resident Evil, and there wasn't a bad house this year, no matter what anybody tells you, and I liked it. It was pretty good. Resident Evil is your gateway to the best house of the year, without any question. And some are saying right now this is one of the best houses ever. And obviously I don't have a lot to compare it to, but given the fact that I watched the movie, like, literally before I left, like, a couple days before I left, AJ showed me this movie, and I was just intrigued from that. How is everything going to go down? And I saw the pictures, and I remembered, after watching the movie, I was like, ooh, that's going to work, and that's going to work, and that's actually in the house. That's going to be amazing. And then we saw something we've never seen before. We actually had a ceiling inside the tube. Yes, I'm talking about the best house of the year, my favorite house of the event at an American Werewolf in London, and it is a general consensus by everyone that I've seen videos from, everyone that I've talked to, this is the house of the year, without any question. There is nothing even comes close to this house. Spot on in every single way possible. You've got everything, from the slaughtered lamb, to the moors, to the tube, to Piccadilly Circus, to See You Next Wednesday. I mean, everything is in here. It is awesome. The transformation scene, the Nazi werewolves, everything is in this house. You see everything on top, and it is incredible. These audio animatronic puppets. These puppets, they're not audio animatronics. These puppets are freaking scary. Straight up. As a matter of fact, I think it was the night, I think it was my birthday. If not, it was one of the days. I'm pretty sure it was my birthday, because I think it's the video. The last werewolf you walk past is one that actually lunges out at you. And now, they all lunge at you, but this one, like, lunges even further out at you. It's like when the cops are trying to shoot him down, and they're trying to shoot David down because he's the werewolf now. And it's right before you walk out. It's the last big scare of the house. You have the werewolf jump literally right in your face. And I got a nice video of the werewolf jumping right in my face. I know what you're saying, Owen. They can't let you take video in the houses. My response is, well, Universal let us via a YouTube meetup that was set up by the Tim Tracker. Tim set up this YouTube meetup, and for one night only, Universal allowed us permission to film inside the houses, and we did. And really awesome videos. Everyone that went to the YouTube meetup, we all had videos from the houses. Werewolf was awesome in every single way. I got nailed several times. It was really amazing. Those puppets were so lifelike and realistic. It was insane. And John Landis himself was actually there on opening night, checking out everything. And he was like a kid in a candy store, basically. He was just so happy with what Universal and Andy came up with. So, spectacular house in every way possible. And actually, me and Joe got to go through this house by ourselves. It was the last house we went into on September 26th, and there was no one else in the house. Eventually everyone disappeared. We went through the transformation room all the way to the end by ourselves, and it was awesome because everyone was targeting us. It was so awesome, so spot on, so amazing. Incredible house, and truly deserving of the best house of the year, if not one of the best houses ever. Interesting to see what A&D does to top Werewolf next year. Excuse me. So, of course, that takes us into Evil Dead. Evil Dead, very realistic to the movie, the 2013 movie. Everything was in there. The blood puke never worked for me. Sadly, I never got to see it. I saw the setup for it. I saw the female character laying underneath, and I saw the mouth of Demon Mia, but I did not get to see the actual vomit happen. So that never happened. The tree scene, intense. The ending with Mia versus the Abomination, incredible. With battling with chainsaws and the blood mist falling down, and everything was great. The one thing about this house that I'm a little bit apprehensive on was the opening of it. Before you walk into the book, and you're literally walking into the Necronomicon. So when you walk into the book, you have this background. It is basically a red and black background, like a white wall with a red and black background, and then you walk into the house. I mean, I understand it was kind of setting the ambiance for everything, but it kind of threw a lot of people off, and that's how it works, especially with a lot of people that I followed in these houses that were extremely drunk at this time, but it was really fun watching them. So everything was great. The cabin stuff was awesome, and of course it was a cabin in the woods. It's Evil Dead. And, of course, Mia coming out from the ground, obviously, coming from the floor, and, of course, in the first room, you're all going to die tonight. I mean, everything was done amazingly, and going through the mangled body parts of the animals, oh, God, that smell is disgusting. So, yeah, Evil Dead was amazing. I love that house, and, of course, you had the chainsaw follow you out, so that was really cool. Evil Dead was always an awesome house, and very enjoyable, very true to the actual movie, the source material that it was actually doing. You're going literally from the book into the movie. I mean, you even have the title card. It's the first thing you see. It's the giant Evil Dead logo, and it was spot on and amazing. Really awesome house. So, Evil Dead takes us into our next house, and our next house is going to be Havoc Derailed. So, Havoc is a house that got a lot of heat over the event. A lot of people did not like it as much as Dogs of War. I know a lot of people didn't like Dogs of War, even though it was generally consensus of, I think it was, 2008, of the best house of the year. So let me check to make sure so I don't look like a fool here. Excuse me. Havoc. I'm looking for it. I don't remember what year it was. I'm talking amongst yourselves, folks. Sorry. I'm looking for Havoc. I'm thinking it was a sprung tent, but I'm not positive. Yeah, I was right. Actually, it's one of the sprung tents. It was the same sprung tent that had Penn and Teller and Afterlife Death's Vengeance. It was the house in 2010. It was like the house of the year 2010. And a lot of people did not like this house. It was very short, number one. Number two, you have to get into the house at the right time. Like, the scares had to be on point. Now, props to all the characters in the house, but it seemed like one of the cast was a lot more intense and in your face than the opposite one was. So there were a lot of times that it was just kind of like going through the motions and it really wasn't anything. I didn't realize until at the end of the event that there was actually a character in the ceiling. When the train derailed, it was a cool effect, but it wasn't as great as it could have been. It wasn't a bad house overall, and nothing was bad this year. It was kind of there, and a lot of people skipped it, and it was not a house that really people, flocked to. During the day, doing this house, sucks. If you do it at night, it's a lot more intense, a lot better. Actually, Havoc was a house that I went to numerous nights at the last house of the evening. Basically because, for some reason, even though a lot of people say they hated this house, it was continuously busy. Now, there were many times in the night, as when I hung out with Tim and Jen numerous times, we went to go to Havoc, and it would have, hour-long waits. Obviously, you don't want to wait an hour for Havoc, even though Havoc's a good house, but it's not a great house, so why would you wait an hour for Havoc? I'd wait an hour for Cabin, wait an hour for Resident Evil, I wouldn't know Resident Evil, wait an hour for Cabin, wait an hour for Werewolf, wait an hour for Evil Dead, Walking Dead, fine, don't wait an hour for Havoc, or Resident Evil, even though I liked Resident Evil. But yeah, it was a good house, and not a great house. I'd say that this is the first of many sequel houses we're going to get. Sequel or prequel houses. I say we could even get prequel houses somewhere down the road. There was actually a couple of characters that were announced, not really announced on the books, but I mean, there are a lot of ideas for some sequel houses to some favorites as well from previous events. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Eventually, that'll probably come to fruition. So, Havoc takes us to, obviously Havoc would take us to Rocky Horror. Rocky Horror Tribute Show this year was amazing. I was so happy to hear that it was coming, and I was really happy with the execution. And if you want to see the Rocky Horror Tribute Show, there's two ways to do it. Ricky Briganti, Inside the Magic, really awesome guy, really cool guy. If you could get a chance to hang out with him, I'd take the opportunity. He's got a video from my birthday on the 21st of September. I've got a video on this very channel that you can check out if I want to put myself over here, that I actually filmed the Rocky Horror Tribute Show in its entirety on September 29th, which is my final night at Halloween Horror Nights. It was actually when I got to watch Rocky Horror with with Patrick, because Tim and Jen ended up leaving the park early, and I ended up kind of like not really hanging out with Patrick, but I went to Rocky Horror with Patrick, so that was cool. So we were sitting near each other, so there you go. So yeah, that was awesome, and Rocky was awesome. I love the presentation. Everybody was spot on. Every single performer was amazing. Obviously, you guys know I'm a big Redhead supporter, as you guys well know. But when it comes down to it, I mean, I love Columbia, a whole gorgeous girl. But everyone was super talented, and the guy that was doing Frankenfurter, just amazing, excellent. I love Riff Raff. I got used to the Broadway style versions of the song because obviously I've never watched the Rocky Horror Show before, the Broadway and off-Broadway show. I've only watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show, so the only version I had was Rick O'Brien. So the version that Richard O'Brien has done, that's the version of Riff Raff I know, and this was a lot more Broadway, and it was fine once I realized that this was exactly what it was supposed to be doing. Rocky Horror was spot on, amazing, and props to everyone that was throwing out callbacks. And it sucked at the end because I know a lot of people gave a lot of heat to the people for throwing out callbacks that got them ejected from the building. And I don't know if that's going to happen tonight, probably not. It's going to be a lot more intense tonight than normal, since it's the last night of the event. But yeah, Rocky Horror was amazing. I loved all the performances. I know all the music, obviously. And it was just really fun to just sit back and enjoy Rocky Horror. So, Rocky Horror, as we walk around the park, will take us into Bill and Ted. So yeah, Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure. So, I'm going to throw something out to you guys right now that has been completely secret until right now. Until this very moment, no one, well, actually, I'll take that back. There are a handful of people that know what I have right now in my possession. So, Bill and Ted this year. Before I get into that, I want to say that at this very moment, I have audio of Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure from this year's Halloween Horror Nights. Now, I was going to wait until the event was over before I posted it. So tomorrow, you're going to get an audio-only video of Halloween Horror Nights 23's Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure. Now, it's going to sound a little, like, jumbled. It's not going to be the clearest audio, but other than video, it's there. So if you want to check it out, you can. It was actually filmed... I'll shoot. It was in my pocket. So yeah, I filmed it in my pocket. I didn't get any video from it. Obviously, they would have nailed me right then and there. And they still might nail me for this, but I got audio from Bill and Ted. So, you can check that out tomorrow. So, hopefully I don't get any trouble for that. And I don't have a visual for it, but for those of you that actually got to watch the event, you can remember everything, live vicariously through the audio of the event. And I know someone is going to post the video somewhere down the line, just like they did for last year's Halloween Horror Nights, way after the fact. So, until that happens, I will be probably one of the only ways you can actually hear the audio from this. So, Bill and Ted this year. Completely hilarious. If you're a pop culture fanatic, obviously my channel is called Pop, so obviously I'm a big pop culture guy. And I loved Bill and Ted. Everything, all the jokes were phenomenal. Now, we started off the video with a AT&T parody, and of course talking about the rules, no video, if you're offended, please leave, and no cell phones. I mean, just all the rules of Bill and Ted. And then, of course, we end up with our show, and that was a nice PS for Mike Aiello's children who are in the opening video. The show, basically, if you guys get the lucky chance of seeing it this year, we go to Camp Morningwood, and the first opening is just a camper coming out, and all of a sudden you see a very seductive pose from a female Jason Voorhees. And then all of a sudden you see various other horror movie icons like Ghostface and Freddy and Michael Myers and Carrie and Chucky. They all come out and they do this really awesomely seductive, sexy dance to The Phoenix by Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy's really big on Bill and Ted this year. And that's where, of course, we see the first time of my my Halloween Horror Nights crush, the gorgeous curly-haired blonde that is wearing the orange boy shorts and top in the opening video, the opening segment. So yeah, that's always awesome to see her. She's absolutely breathtaking, to say the least. So after this, we go in our actual story, and basically we find out that Ted is now dating Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift has a journal, but it's not her journal. It has been replaced by the Book of the Dead, basically. And basically, this ends up turning her into a demon, and she's going to possess a lot of different pop culture icons like Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez and Anna Kendrick and Vanessa Hudgens. This is a really awesome setup, and of course, Bill and Ted have to save the world from World War T, if you will, and all sorts of awesome characters this year. I mean, got some really interesting laughs. I mean, the cast of Game of Thrones is involved in this. And James Franco is really awesome in this. James Franco and Gandalf, they're involved. The big thing that a lot of people were freaking out about was the involvement of George Lucas. And George Lucas battling J.J. Abrams. And, of course, the Avatar stuff, and the inclusion of so many awesome pop culture songs from this past year, like Suit and Tie, and Blurred Lines, and Come and Get It, and even What Does the Fox Say? So, everything was awesome this year. Really amazing show. And if you want to check that out, the audio only, it's available on Pop as of tomorrow. So yeah, I'm going to get that out tomorrow for you guys. It's actually already uploaded, so I'm going to put it on public as of tomorrow. You guys can check that out, along with the brand new verses. So yeah, Bill and Ted was hilarious this year. Cannot wait for next year. Bill and Ted, very heavy on pop culture content. If you're a fan of pop culture, you'd love Bill and Ted. And Bill and Ted was really funny this year. Really hilarious. A lot of topical stuff. Paula Deen, Django, Sofia Vergara. I could list everybody all night. The phone booth actually returned this time. The really funny parody of The Voice with Blake Shelton, Shakira, CeeLo, and everybody's favorite whipping boy, Adam Levine. The Prancer-sized ladies involved in this. The Harlem Shake. I mean, everything that you could even think of is involved in this. And it's hilarious from top to bottom. And once the video gets released, check it out if it ever does. And the audio, we can see it on Pop very soon. So yeah, got to see Bill and Ted, and Bill and Ted was hilarious. So Bill and Ted will take us to the opposite side of the park, and probably walking past the Chainsaw Drill Team, which I still like to call the Leaf Blower Drill Team. And they're awesome, though. And with their lady with a bullhorn that is shouting out information like a drill sergeant. Really awesome. Takes us into Afterlife Death's Vengeance. And this was a house I was really anticipating. I really enjoyed the 3D. I actually got to see it. I actually did put on my 3D glasses momentarily for the house. This is a freaky house, honestly. You walk into the headline of Robert the Blade Galetta and his victims. And this is basically his victims getting revenge on him in the afterlife. It's exactly what it is. So it's the death's vengeance, literally, of Bobby the Blade. So you see him getting electrocuted at the beginning. And then the second room, we go to the Christmas tree lights from Penn and Teller. And what happens is, the second room is flipped, upside down, Cat in the Hat style. The exact same room, but in black light. And then, of course, you get the creatures from the in-between. They come out. And the character that got me every single time in the headline room, when you walk in, you have this character that's standing, has this like grotesque mask, and he's got this knife, and he's right in your face, and he's growling at you, and it's awesome. And there's body bags, and there's like all sorts of weird scares. And then the Vortex Tunnel is returned, and Johnny Cash everywhere. So yeah, this house was not as good as I thought it was going to be, but still pretty awesome. Very disorienting in more ways than one. I like this house overall, and it seemed to be a lot more likable house as we progressed in the event, so I liked it a lot more every single time I went through it, so yeah. It was a great 3D house, and a lot of people were saying it's the best 3D house they've ever been through. I would say it might be the best 3D house I've ever been through, but I didn't really utilize the 3D until the end of the house a couple of times. I didn't really put on the 3D glasses very much, so the red and blue thing doesn't really work. It does work, it disorients you very much, but I mean, it's not the same as if you're actually seeing digital 3D in front of your eyes, but still really awesome. So Afterlife Death's Vengeance was pretty good. So, you're going to make me rate these, aren't you? So, Afterlife, of course, takes us through Springfield. Springfield will take us through Kid Zone, through the Survivors Camp, and get us to La Llorona, the Urban Legends themed house, which, of course, Urban Legends is going to be a theme that Universal is going to be using throughout the event from here on out. So there's going to be a lot of urban legends that end up being a house. So I threw out the idea of doing an urban legends house where they debunk urban legends and bring back Penn and Teller to do it. So kind of like a BS house, like, the Showtime series that they won Emmy Awards for, actually. Do that as a house, and obviously Penn and Teller would return to the event. So, and obviously I want another shot as a... I'll be totally honest, this is the reason I want this house. I think it's going to be awesome, number one. Number two, it's just, I want another shot at meeting Penn and Teller, and I will have another shot when we're down the road. So, La Llorona, the Weeping Lady, basically, the story is, number one, this comes out of Universal Hollywood. They've had it for the last couple of years, and they bring it to Orlando this year. And I think that probably what happens next year, but we'll talk about that in another video, actually, in a couple of days. So, anyway, so we basically have this woman who is so wanting to impress a man that doesn't really like the fact that she has children. So what does she do? She kills her children. She drowns them in a lake, and that's pretty much what she does. And of course, this guy's like, she probably thought, well, now the kids are gone, now we can have some fun. And he's mortified at the fact that she killed her children for him. So yeah. She's pretty much left to wander the earth by herself for the rest of the life, and she ends up dying. Well, of course, her kids are dead too, but now she has to find her children, and her children are off in the and she has a different world now, and that's where the difference between Hollywood and Orlando are. This is a freaky house, very intense house, a very wet house, actually. I got wet several times in this house. Really awesome images. You start off at the funeral of the children. Of course, you see the children's bodies, obviously, laying in the water, which is a freaky effect. And you end up going from just a normal woman, and then she progresses, and she progresses, and she progresses. She becomes a monster by the time it's over. She has this really freaky monster look at the end of the house, and she was just really intense. I liked this house, I really did. I liked it more that I went through it. Very intense house, very enjoyable house. I watched a little bit of Hollywood's videos. I like ours better, to be totally honest. So yeah, it was good. It was a good house. I very much enjoyed it. La Llorona took us into The Walking Dead, and The Walking Dead would be our final house this year. So, Walking Dead was actually my first house this year. I'm going to throw that out there. Walking Dead was the Parade Building, and the Parade Building was the site of the first haunted house I got to go through last year at Halloween Horror Nights, which was House of Horrors. And because last year Walking Dead was in the disaster queue, they realized they needed a bigger spot for it. So they shifted to the Parade Building. And then they made the announcement that it would be part of the annual pass holder event. So you get Walking Dead right off the top. We don't have to worry about it. You can knock it out before and then get away from that end of the park and go off and do like Resident Evil, Evil Dead, Cabin, Werewolf, Havoc, and Afterlife. So you don't have to worry about it. And of course, after you get Walking Dead, you go to La Llorona and everything's good to go. So we got this house, and it's themed towards Season 3. Sorry, my eyes are bothering me. Season 3 of The Walking Dead. Obviously, you know I'm not a Walking Dead guy at all. This, of course, starts out in the arena, and that's like the facade for the house. You walk in, and we ended up going into the correctional facility, and of course, you see the governor's fish tank, which have all the heads in it. That's where you run into Penny, and Penny got me every single time. And you see all sorts of craziness. We end in the cell block, and then we walk out of the house. I like this house a lot, actually. I really wish I could have went through it one more time. The crouch effect with the chain link and the scareactors just reaching out at you, that was awesome. The phone rang. Lori was on the other line. That was really cool. And that was one of the GATs for this year. The other one was in Resident Evil. It's the coin return in the laundry room. It made this really loud whizzing sound. Loudest siren you could ever think of. If you want to talk about the GAT on Walking Dead, No Safe Haven, it was basically, you hear Lori's voice. So yeah, that was the setup right there. Walking Dead was an awesome house. I really enjoyed it. Excuse me. So that was my, that's how the event worked for me. Rode the Mummy, and Mummy was not busy at all. It was actually, the lights were on in Mummy, so it wasn't as dark as it usually is in the queue in Mummy. Rip Ride Rocket's awesome at night. It's the first time I actually got to ride at night. That was really awesome. I really wish my video would have worked. I ended up doing Polyfuse Method by the Crystal Method, and that sucked because I was trying to do Float On by Modest Mouse, and I still haven't got a chance to do that yet. So hopefully I'll get to do that in December in a month, so we'll see what happens with that. And Transformers was awesome too, so it's really cool. So that was the event itself, and you're asking yourself, oh, and did you get any swag? My response is, heck yeah, I got swag. So I got some swag for you guys to see right here, so I got this here. This is my, this is the Halloween Horror Nights 23 lanyard. Oh, look at this right here. See, there's the Evil Takes Root, and this is the one that you actually could buy when you walk in the park, and also they had that guest services when you can buy your tickets. This has my Rush of Fear pass. Now on top of this, you see this like thing right here. This is an RFID sticker, and this is how I was able to play the Legendary Truth game. Now the Legendary Truth game, which I didn't get a chance to talk about in this, basically Legendary Truth game, it was connected through in-park and at home. At home you can play the games, which I talked about on the website. Now in-park was a different story. Now you go to a location where you saw the there's a gargoyle sitting out there, actually, and that was the Legendary Truth logo. And you could either put this right here on your Frequent Fear Pass, and mine is a Rush of Fear. So this right here is the sticker they put on it, so you can play. Otherwise, you can pay $5 and actually get the card, which I wasn't able to get because I never was able to run into at the time. But yeah, this is my Rush of Fear Pass. And this Rush of Fear Pass, right here, yeah, there we go. It covered me from the 20th, 21st, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, which I went through all of those, and October 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, which unfortunately I was not able to go to because I actually left on October 1st. Now, when I took the Unmasking the Horror Tour, they actually gave me another one, so I have that one as well, but I don't have that with me. I bought some things at the event. Now, I got the pen. This is the pen for this year. See, it's one of the walking. It's kind of like the same thing as like the zombie bait last year. Almost the same exact thing. The only thing missing was the dangly. It says zombie bait on it. See, this is Halloween Horror Nights 2013 and The Walking Dead. So yeah, that pen I wore actually. And I got 2 lanyards because obviously you know Sir Owen Disney loves himself some lanyards. This is the Halloween Horror Nights lanyard for this year. This is the one you actually could purchase. So you see that it has like the zombie eyes and the Halloween Horror Nights Universal Studios. See that? It's really cool and like the zombies on it. And of course this right here, this is kind of cool. Universal pin trading, like the lanyard here on the bottom. Now I talk about Legendary Truth merch. And this is actually one thing of Legendary Truth I actually got. So this is the Legendary Truth lanyard. See, it's like, there's the logo, and there's the seal. And if you see that, I'll show you that better. Here and here, there's Legendary Truth. That's like black and purple and white and gray and silver. Awesome lanyard. So I got the shirt, and I just dropped the pen. Here's the shirt for this year. It looks very similar to my Halloween Horror Nights 22 shirt. And I'll be totally honest, it looks similar to my 21 shirt too. So here's the thing it says right here. So this is what fear tastes like. And on the back, of course, there were a lot of shirts available. There was a Walking Dead shirt. There was a La Llorona shirt, which is really strange. Which of course was just the same shirt they got at Hollywood with the Halloween Horror Nights 23 logo on the bottom. And there was a Resident Evil shirt that I actually bought for Austin. This was the other shirt, and this was the house shirt for this year. So this is Universal Halloween Horror Nights 2013. Of course, there it is. It says on the top you have AMC, The Walking Dead, No Safe Haven. You have Evil Dead. You have The Cabin in the Woods, Resident Evil, Escape from Raccoon City, An American Werewolf in London, Afterlife, Death's Vengeance, Havoc Derailed, and Urban Legends La Llorona. So yeah, that was really cool. And I know what you're asking yourself, Owen, you don't drink, and you're right, I don't. As you guys know by now, I'm straight edge, so that's how it works. But you know what I do have? It seems better days, I'm not gonna lie about this. This was the year I was like, you know, I gotta have a Blinky cup. So I did. I got myself a Blinky cup, so let me show you this. Look at this awesomeness. Yes. This is my Halloween Horror Nights 23 Blinky cup. Look at this, it's really cool. It's kind of cracked because TSA had totally like ruined it. But yeah, this is awesome. And I had a Coke in this actually, that's a shoot. And it was really funny because I found a bartender at Chez Alcatraz, which is where I got the video of the fireball, by the way, as I sat outside there and waited till the fireball went off. I was like, oh, I gotta get that video of this year, and I did. It was on this channel. So what happened was I ended up sitting there, and the drink for this year is actually, let me get this exactly. It's called a Dead Walker. And the Dead Walker was actually, I believe if I remember correctly, it was the drink from last year's event too. The Dead Walker was a specialty drink. And the specialty drink was a Oh, it's really awesome that the website's down for partythroughtheparks.com. So, I love, this is what we do with live television, folks. Alright, there we go. Thank you, Touring Plans, for helping me with this. It's called a dead walker, and a dead walker, in essence, is basically like vodka, like fruit juice, got full throttle energy drink in it, and you could buy one for $10 for the cup, and then you got like refills for $7. So if you're an alcohol person, probably right up your alley. But of course, I got Coke in it. The thing is, I found someone that could make me a dead walker, non-alcoholic, which is basically just like a wedding punch, kind of like what you would get at like a graduation. Tasted amazing, and they actually gave it to me in a universal sipper cup, you know, the souvenir cups. Not this. I only brought this one night, but yeah, they gave me that. It was really good. So yeah, that was an hour, and I'm sorry it took so long, but I thought you guys would appreciate me discussing my opinions on the event. Did I like the event? Oh god, yes, I liked the event. If I did not like the event so much, I would not have canceled so many concrete plans, moved heaven and earth to be able to go 6 nights. I was only planning on going 1 night, then everything was announced with the YouTube meetup. I was going to go 2 nights, and then hung out with Tim and Jen and realized I want to spend more time with my new friends. So I added another night, and then I was like, you know, might as well. So I added an extra 4 nights on top of it. So yeah, I think that's right. Either way, went 6 nights. And it was amazing. I went from my opening night on the 20th, then I went on the 22nd, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. So yeah, 6 nights. Halloween Horror Nights. Amazing night. Amazing experience. So, once for the final time on this video, I want to thank a lot of people. So, let's thank some people, shall we? It's time to put some people over, because that's what Sir Owen Disney does. So, we want to thank everyone I met at the Halloween Horror Nights YouTube meetup on my birthday, where we got to go through all the 8 houses, including Cabin and Evil Dead twice, as well as visit the Rocky Horror Tribute Show. I want to thank everyone I met on this excursion. I want to thank the Tim Tracker, my awesome friend Tim, and of course I want to thank his awesome wife Jen, the Jen Tracker. I want to thank my new friend Jean, Psycho Massacre Films. I want to thank Nathan HHN. I want to thank Ricky Briganti from Inside the Magic. I want to thank Joe from All Around Orlando. I want to thank my awesome friend Kaylee. Her name is Kaylee Kill. I want to thank Disco Lizita, Liz, really awesome girl. I want to thank the Mighty Thor. I want to thank Emily, which is Griffin Wolf 2008. I want to thank Jesse, which is Oh Hey with 3 Y's, Jesse with IE. And I want to thank each and every person I ran into. Obviously, I want to thank Dustin and Pete from The Diz. I want to thank Grace Eccles, who I got to run into a couple of times at Halloween Horror Nights. I want to thank Scarlett Litton for being able to run into her at Halloween Horror Nights. I want to thank every single person I ran into, every single person I saw for more than 2 seconds, or even just a split second. I want to thank Dr. Jimmy. I want to thank everyone involved with the Legendary Truth games. I want to thank the Legendary Truth Master, Matthew. I want to thank Mike Aiello. I want to thank Rick Spencer. I want to thank TJ Manorino. I want to thank every single person I ran into, talked to for more than 2 seconds. The team members, the managers, the leaders. I want to thank all the scareactors, all the awesome scareactors this year. The one that looked like Lewis Black, everyone involved with the Walker Bomb truck. They were amazing. I want to thank everyone in the Bill and Ted cast, everyone in the Rocky Horror cast, everyone even manning the rides that we got to ride, like Transformers and Rip Ride Rocket and The Mummy. I want to thank every one of them. I want to thank everyone that was involved with the food. I want to thank everyone that's involved with the drink, not the alcohol, because I'm not an alcohol guy. I want to thank everyone involved with Legendary Truth in the merchandise. I want to thank every single person I ran into and everyone that chatted with me for a second and made me feel welcome at an event that I was not comfortable in the beginning, but at the end, I'm now a brand new Halloween Horror Nights fan, and I'm very proud to finally say that. So that is going to be the end of Halloween Horror Nights video for Halloween Horror Nights 23. Now, we're not done yet. We are going to be talking one more time with Halloween Horror Nights 24, prediction and speculation, which that's going to start now. And as I find out more, I will do more videos. So I want to thank everyone out there that I met, every single person, each and every boy and girl that I talked to, and really helping me feel welcome and enjoy the event for what it is. An incredible event. that I just sit back, enjoy the ambiance, and just enjoy everything about it. So there's always that. So in the meantime, if you like these videos, then I'm pretty sure you do, then tell me you do. You subscribe, and you can help get us to 200 subscribers. That's what we're shooting at. We're 50 subscribers away from 200, and if you want to keep watching the videos, please do spread the word about the Popcaster Revolution. You can spread the word on email, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, any way you want to do it. You can do it on message boards, bulletin boards, chalkboards. You can do it at your school, at your job. Doesn't matter where you do, just get the word out about Pop. If you want to contact me, you're more than welcome to. 3 simple ways. Email, very simple, siroandisney@gmail.com, or you can tweet me, it's @siroandisney, or you can finally send me a message on Facebook, become my friend, Owen Disney, very simple to find, very easy. So in the meantime, I want to thank all you guys and girls out there for watching. I've got a couple more Horror Nights videos. For those of you that are going to sit back and watch the Bill and Ted video that I'm posting tomorrow, you're going to enjoy that, and I'm going to get off here because this has been quite a ride, and what an amazing year for Halloween Horror Nights 23. So 24, bring it on. So in the meantime, thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.